Now, with regards to gay marriage specifically, that's a really tough one for me. Australia is holding a plebiscite on whether to legalize gay marriage. I'm against the Yes campaign, but only because it's backed by cultural Marxists. I'm curious to hear your views on gay marriage. Well, I would be against it too if it was backed by cultural Marxists, because it isn't clear to me that it will satisfy the ever-increasing, what would you call it, demand for an assault on traditional modes of being.
Baby, when it comes to modes of being, I'm the only being for you. You have to accept my mode of being, even though I'm cheating on you. When a being finds just the right mode, one cock can do it for two. But I'm a hypocritical, dominant male, so I won't allow the same for you. The thesis of this video is that Jordan Peterson's real agenda, philosophically, politically, and ethically, is not homophobic and is not transphobic. It is pro-homosexual in such a twisted, demented, immoral way that homosexuals and heterosexuals alike ought to revile and reject it. So I have to open with the mother of all fucking disclaimers here. Because I am not gay, but also I am not homophobic. Yeah. I'm pro-gay without being gay. And that doesn't just mean I support homosexuals in theory. Doesn't just mean I support abstract rights written up on a chalkboard for all homosexuals everywhere. I would take a step further and say that we have to start to abolish and tear down the division we've built up between heterosexual and homosexual. There are a lot of straight men who suck a dick once in a while. It's not just my buddy Frank at the gym, in the shower, in front of me, okay? It's way more widespread than that. For some reason in our society, it is considered so disturbing, so boundary pushing, for a man to be in a three-way with another man and another woman, and to get down and suck the other man's dick. Maybe it turns him on precisely because he finds it denigrating, precisely because he feels he's violating some of these social norms. I don't know. And for that man to continue identifying as and feeling himself to be heterosexual. Oh, but wait. Every single heterosexual man in this audience, every single fucking one of you expects your heterosexual girlfriend or your heterosexual wife to get down and eat another woman's pussy while you have your cock up her ass. Yes, I said it. Every single straight man in this audience has some kind of fucking verbal contract with his girlfriend, with his wife, that if he should ever end up in a three-way with Tess Begg or someone of equal pulchritude, that his girlfriend or his wife will engage in the most degrading lesbian sex acts without ever becoming a lesbian herself, without identifying as lesbian, without him expecting her to feel like a lesbian, without him expecting her to watch lesbian porn in her spare time here and now. So I support homosexuals, and I support hypocrites too. I think a certain level of hypocrisy is the fucking spice of life. But let's not be hypocrites about homosexuality.
So that's something that is evolutionary inside of us, is that we are social creatures, and we all, no matter even if you don't want to believe it, we all subtly know where we are in the social hierarchy. Where we are in this hierarchy determines your mood. It determines how happy you are. And there's real science. Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot. There's serotonin and dopamine that increases the higher you are in this social status. So essentially, the better that you are compared to other people. This is dark truths of human nature. We don't like to talk about being better than anyone else, but this is the real truth. The better that we are than other people, the happier we feel, the more serotonin and good hormones that are pumped inside of us, the more testosterone that we have, the better that we are. And so all those things are reversed the worse that we are compared to other people.
So, according to this sick and twisted philosophy, what is the pleasure, what is the reward, what is my motivation in writing, in publishing these two books? According to Jordan Peterson, which I think has been very well summarized and demonstrated for you in practice by young Hamza here, okay? According to Jordan Peterson, the reason I did this, the reason I wrote these books was just to denigrate and subjugate other men. It's only for me to be better than other people. It's only for me to climb my way up the so-called dominance hierarchy by putting other people down. Now, I want you to really fucking reflect on one, how sick and twisted that is, and two, how it is fundamentally gay. If I wrote these books with the hope that just 500 people would read them, 500 people would appreciate them, and let's say 500 people have sent me email saying this book was so meaningful, it was so wonderful, it changed their fucking life. Does that count for nothing? Is it only meaningful if my book moves up the bestseller list and pushes somebody else's book down so I can point my finger at him and say, I'm better than you on this fucking dominance hierarchy that Jordan Peterson has convinced people to regard as a fucking scientific fact on the basis of his in-depth research into lobster psychology. So whatever value I found in the research that went into this book, whatever entertainment, happiness, joy I derived from writing this book, whatever meaning it has for me as the author, whatever meaning it has for you as the reader, all of that counts for fucking nothing. And here's where it gets really kinky. If 500 people send me fan mail about this book, and they do, what percentage of those people do you think are women? What percentage of those people do you think are heterosexual women who read that book and on some level that may not be so psychologically repressed, they think the author of this book is really brilliant, he's really insightful, he ain't all that bad looking, and what they would like to do is place their fucking lips on something other than the pen I used to sign their copy when they approach me at a fucking vegan protest rally. Yes, musicians get groupies. Yes, YouTubers get groupies. Which one is more fucking flattering to you? Which one is more psychologically gratifying to the superficial heterosexual man? Having someone who wants to fuck you because they like the shape of your face, something you didn't choose, something you can't really control, somebody who wants to fuck you because of the shape of your body, something you have a limited amount of control over at the gym, diet, so on and so forth, or someone who wants to fuck you because they read your book, they appreciate your book, and in that way, they appreciate you. Well, guess what? All of this is completely fucking irrelevant to the pseudo-evolutionary perspective of Jordan Peterson.
And that part of your brain, the amygdala, just can't help but stay vigilant that you keep getting knocked down in the social hierarchy. Where does your amygdala think you are right now? Because our brains are only supposed to work for a tribe of 150. But you've probably seen, if you think about just randomly, like how many pictures of like attractive people, successful, muscular guys who look more bigger than you, who look stronger than you, who look more successful, who have got more women than you. How many of those pictures have you seen? I think it's actually realistic to say thousands, maybe tens of thousands. So now is it any wonder why it feels like we may have the symptoms of like ultra low serotonin and dopamine? Because our brains have not evolved for this level of technology. So when we see hot people on social media, it's way deeper and it's way more painful than it just seems. There's this sort of conventional modern advice of like, yeah, that's someone else and you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone else. That advice does not work. Humans do not ever enact that advice of like, you don't compare yourself to anyone else. That's complete bullshit. That's like a modern invention that is completely against our evolutionary nature.
The women who are interested in me, they are not interested in sorting every face and every body on Instagram to choose the one at the top or to fight their way to the top of that pecking order. As Hamza has just explained to you, the only thing he cares about, the only thing Jordan Peterson cares about, and from their perspective, they believe it's a scientific fact, the only thing any of us care about is dominating and denigrating others to climb our way up that fucking hierarchy. The only thing that fucking matters to me is the damage and harm that I can do to other men by publishing this book, the ways in which I can prove myself superior to them. I don't care if you are a fucking stamp collector. The reality is you meet women who collect stamps also. They find values in the stamps, they find value in you, you have something in common, the relationship builds from there. Now, I am not the most attractive person on Instagram, and I do not feel I have to compete with all other men. I do not feel I have to compete with even one other man on Instagram to be at the top of a ladder that is only 2 rungs high. That's not the way human sexuality works. That's not the way happiness works. That's not the way the life of the mind works. That's not even the way the fucking life of the body works. That's not the way the fucking life of the ball sack works, to be perfectly fucking candid with you. But hey, it's not just that I'm not the best looking guy on Instagram. I am not even the best looking author of a book on political philosophy this year. Whoa, who the hell wants to fuck that? That's not the way human psychology works. That's not the way human sexuality works. It's not the way evolutionary biology works. Intellectually, ethically, and even just in terms of autoerotic fucking value, there are women who get turned on by this book because it means something to them. And then I'm interested in talking to them because I'm interested in getting to know someone who really appreciates my political philosophy. Human sexuality is fundamentally not about competition. It's about compatibility. It's about common ground, common interest, common ethical values, common intellectual values. With all due respect to my homosexual compatriots, fucking a woman for another man is gay. This is the most twisted BDSM homosexuality fantasy in the history of the fucking world. Jordan Peterson presents it as a fact established and proven by evolutionary science. And at least a few tens of thousands of red pill morons like fucking Hamza here have taken that fact and have started to live their lives with it as if it's their fucking personal practical philosophy. And in case this video is not self-centered and narcissistic enough for you, let's flip this around. Right now, when I'm looking at women's profiles on Instagram, when women message me on Instagram wanting to fuck me, do you think I am sorting them according to this hierarchy? Do you think I have in my mind a hierarchy whereby I only want the women who are at the top, or whereby I think that I am competing with other men, that I am trying to denigrate other men by working my own way to the top, and that the only way for me to do that is to kind of fuck and publicly parade the fact that I've fucked women who are higher up on the hierarchy? I do not fuck women because I have something to prove to other men, because that shit is gay. If you are actually heterosexual, you will be attracted to particular women, and you will be attracted to particular women who are not the best looking women on Instagram. You may be attracted to women who are objectively ugly, but in the same sense that this book may be deeply meaningful to you and another person can't appreciate it at all, the beauty of that woman may be something you can appreciate, and that the next man down the hall can't. But that's fine, because you aren't fucking her to prove something to him. You aren't fucking her to denigrate and humiliate him. You aren't fucking her to work your way up the lobster hierarchy so you can, I don't know, sit on his chest and pee on his face or act out whatever fucking latent homosexual urges Jordan Peterson and Hamza here are working so hard to suppress. In the year 2022, sexuality has become so politicized, and advice about sexuality has become so monetized that it is actually fucking politically significant for me to say to you, have sex just for the sake of having sex. Get out there and love somebody just because you have it in you to love them. And just because you think, you hope, you wish that they have some capacity in them to love you too. There's something you can appreciate about them, and you think they can appreciate you back, even if each of you appreciates the other in different ways. And in the same way that a woman can be and remain heterosexual while she gets down with another woman while I get up that other woman's ass, let me be clear. A straight man can get down and suck another man's dick while still being straight. But Jordan Peterson's philosophy, Jordan Peterson's philosophy, in the most fucked up way, is simultaneously homophobic and really gay.